He's gonna be isolated at any time here. Flash is coming out, but look at that stock on that setup on A.
A slow power. I mean, 4 players on that A side. It's all down to Gaia. You talked about Nats. Let's see if she can live up to the name. 1 kill on the board, and that's all that will be found. Now a tough retake for Oxxgen. They managed to pick off Sonya, the lurker, towards the A side. With that, it's still a 4 versus 3. Ricks have control over the side.
This is kind of an illusion of what we were seeing on Icebox. They knew that they only had the Sova to fake, and they really thought that he was going to be A, and the rotation was so late. Still, it's not over.
All the kills go in Raina's way yet again. I mean, we gave her props coming out of the previous map, but what a way to start this one off, leaving Ritha all by her lonesome. Ricks might just have gotten away with the opening pistol, short of some god-tier play coming out of Ritha right now. And Padge will shut that down. 1-0. Ricks take the lead.
Yeah, but it was just beautiful. As I was mentioning, they were trying to do that fake. They were thinking about that icebox when it's only Sova to gather that info. And if you're gonna use his utility to just open a side, even though they had the wall onto short, they were so sure that it was going to be on A. And Gia here was just so by herself to prevent everything that was going on. I think that was very well played by Ricks, and just playing around the spike once it's planted. Pretty clean, and it's probably gonna mean the second one for them as well.
And they really starved themselves of a lot of opportunities by leaving Sonya to lurk on A, and they didn't get any reward for it. Still getting away with the round as cleanly as they did in the end is damn impressive. Really good recovery of what initially was looking almost like a fumble. Oxxgen on this defense, playing with just classics. This should be a very easy round on paper, but it doesn't always play out that way, especially when you dash into the site this aggressively. Despite the opportunities given over, there is nothing to be capitalized on.
I love the fact we were talking about the choreograph, and I think it's just so perfect and so clean. The fact that you can see a Jet dash onto a side, just playing around the Jenny, and know that the Sova is going to gather all the info that she needs to make the play. It makes it so special.
Last player standing.
This is a nice little cleanup out of Ricks. Can they survive with all players? I mean, Gaia's not even going to surprise them anymore.
That's perfect.
And there you go. All 5 alive. Sure, there's going to be a couple of shields to be rebought. Actually, probably just Jupi. The others will play with 39 and 33. So that is a massive moneymaker round for the attacking side.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Ricks needed at the beginning. It's not only the fact that you get pistol, it's the fact that you managed to get this second round so clean and so easy. It was literally just a flash. No stack on this time from Oxxgen. See what they do on their first buy. Probably gonna look for some aggression, but also they need to look out for the stars falling onto place.
The stars falling into place. I like it. Like, it sounds so poetic, but it is. Yeah, there's literally a mechanic. Yeah, I like it.
I can be poetic too. I can give you things that Tom can't.
That is true. Yeah, I've never liked anything that Tom has said. I'll be honest. Ness is in the corner, and that star is not going to reach her. Excuse me. So there's an opportunity. They've already spotted one player towards the site. They have absolutely no idea. But luckily, Padge was still checking it, and somehow Spray transferred onto Proxima as well. They know Guy is going to be on site. Tucked in towards the stairs. Has to swing eventually, and that's when they shut her down. Okay, eventually, but damn good work.
It's still a 2v2. Anything can happen here. The spike is going to go down.
Spike planted.
Are they going to clean logs? Okay, now they have the info. It would be too stupid not to.
Padge is 1 HP, nice and easy. It's all up to Jupi. I mean, look, the position she's in. Oh, also knowing there's a player close, right? That reload, giving it away. No idea on the second, beautiful. But the shot is connected. 3-0 for Ricks, and a huge round out of Jupi.
That was just so good, so well played. Also, you know that you have that close quarter that you need to take advantage of, so you decide to go onto B main. You find that you wait for the Astra utility. That's super smart to play around. And also Ness with that position. It was just too greedy, maybe, you know, trying to find that opening. And also Jupi at the end of the round, the fact that you know that you're in a 2v1 and you decide to push, that is 80% of the time, 85% of the time, the right call. So beautifully play around that.
Such an important round to win out as well. Now Oxxgen have nothing to play with. It's going to be Sheriffs and a Marshal in play. I will give props to Gaia. I think her hold down towards the B side has been on point so far. She hasn't been rolled over like what on the pistol found one and done, but that's reasonable. Right there in the previous, getting the double was fantastic. Now, as we said, just Sheriffs. We don't want anything to go Oxygen's way here. If they manage to get 2 kills, that's already a successful round.
I mean, I wouldn't consider it successful knowing that they lost the first 3, but they're still playing fast. I mean, they want to get at least one of them. I felt that actually, you know, based on the performance by Jupi, they were going to play around that lockdown, knowing that they were not, probably Oxxgen will not be able to counter it anyway, but there is something that is something that they can use on next round. Yeah, really carefully. You know exactly the position at least one of them. You know, she is there with the Marshal. Looks like it's going to be okay.
Nasty little flank out of Jupi. It's so important for Riggs to build up that economy, considering they lost so many players in the previous round. They really don't want the pistols to do a bunch of damage. But I do like the adaptation from Oxxgen, realizing in a 2v5, they can just play hard exits and catch them on the way back through. A little bit overeager. Ness gets spotted, and so too is Proxima. Just going to try to hunt them down. I mean, going for that fight with a classic? Okay, I like it, Padge. Really gives an air of confidence.
I have to say that I do not expect a tactical pause right now, but maybe in the next couple rounds, I could see that coming from Oxxgen. Because, I mean, they've only had one single buy, and it was definitely a coin flip if you decide to push onto B lobby. But I would like to, you know, for them to have a minute to think. I am scared, though, because we see a lot of ultimates available for Riggs. This could be a super clean round from them. And judging by Jupi's position, this could be an execute onto B. Playing pretty standard on this map. I really, really like this Riggs.
Yeah, slowing it down in a round like this, you know, well, look, Oxxgen didn't call a pause, so they're going to go to their bread and butter. They already have a plan ready to go with, and I'm sure Riggs are at least somewhat familiar with what that looks like. You know for a fact there's a player up close here. Guy is still tucked in the corner. Support's on the way, though. Take a look at the position out of Proxima, watching for the crossover. That smoke's going to block her, but she's right up close, ready to take the fight with her teammate. But it doesn't matter. Guy's doing all the work by herself. Beautiful start. The man advantage in Oxygen's favor.
And it's not only that, they also got the info onto B lobby with that drone, but oh! Shot by shot, they're going to find their way onto A, and the plant is going to come in. Why not?
That's a huge shutdown. Sonya coming up late, not able to help on the push itself, and Jupi's left alone. Lockdown to buy them the little bit of space and time that they so desperately want and need. But look at this, an aggressive playback out of Oxxgen. They want to fight for it.
Wow.
And they get punished. In fact, they're close to getting a player detained, just about avoiding it. And the even 2v2, a complete reset as well in terms of post-plant positions. This is great for Riggs.
It is, definitely. And that's great for Proxima. Let's see if Ness can find a kill with this operator, but the position and then the rotation from Riggs is just perfect right now. It's just beautiful.
Oh, the timing isn't, though. Sonya going through, but not able to catch them. Now they know exactly where she is. Jupi, the only player left to really cause a bit of a surprise over on the Oxygen side. She's using her utility to run that down, and then spraying both of them. That is gorgeous for 5-0, and another massive round out of Jupi.
Amazing. And actually, we didn't manage to see the games yesterday because we couldn't, but Jupi was one of the stars. I was just looking at the stars. She was on point, and it's been definitely on this map as well. We saw it also on Icebox, but the results were probably not the best. I was actually surprised because Proxima decided to push. She used her utility. Okay. Oh, it's actually a timeout from Riggs.
There you go. You got
okay,
time.
that is surprising. But as I was saying, I want to finish on that. Proxima decided to push, and the timing, all that choreograph that we were talking about, it was just not on point. She used the utility, but there was no follow up. If it was like, you know, you use that, I think it was only 2 stars left. But when she used them, there was no follow up from the team, so they couldn't actually find much. She either decided to push anyway to find some surprise, but still, that probably cost Oxxgen the round. Oh, it's actually an Oxxgen timeout. Okay.
That makes a little bit more sense, for sure. I was with you, a little confused. 5-0 in the lead, facing an eco, calls a pause. Like, okay. But yeah, I think for Proxima, a quick point on that was I did enjoy the mentality of I'm about to use my final stars, so I am now a duelist. I will run around this corner and hopefully be traded, but they needed to find a kill instantly.
It can work if it's the 3 of you using the stars, being like, okay, we're going to go against the lockdown and we're going to break it ourselves. Because you have 2 options. You either go and break it or you walk back.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that's... it's somewhere also that more depth of the game comes into play in that, you know, if you're Ritha, for example, you probably want to be keeping your shock darts when you see that ulti is online, playing that little bit more passive around the early round. But it was just, as you said, a little bit disjointed. You know, one player
Yeah.
decides to throw everything on the line and see what they can do. The others run back to evade the lockdown. But it's those panic decisions, those last-second choices. As we come into this round, as we said before, Oxxgen don't have a lot of money. They have just got pistols, but that hasn't stopped them from taking mid control. Ness is pushed all the way down in middle. Proxima shuts down Noia. This is starting to look a little bit scary.
She decides to go into Astro form. That is. Oh my god!
Wow! Okay, Sonya, that's a double shock dart kill for you. With just one shock dart, 2 kills. I mean, always better value. It's only Gia left alive with a whole lot to do.
Oh my god. Jonas is smiling somewhere in the world.
Oh, yes.
Spike planted.
He's got a huge smile on his face.
I mean, we knew that this was going to be probably a round for Riggs. It was great picks from Oxxgen, but the response was perfect. And all the utility that those two initiators have for you. Okay, this is not over. GSS.
I mean, with a Vandal in hand, this is winnable. And she has brought it into a 1v1, but look at that health. 5 HP left on the board. This should be so easy for Raina down in the corner. And indeed it is. 6-0. Good economy damage done yet again.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the rounds Ricks are winning. There's 1 or 2 players left alive, but at a certain point, that kind of stops mattering. Also, Yupi's 10-1. What is
That is
that?
crazy. That was literally the first time that we saw her die on that round, and she was just covering for the team, so we're not going to count it. Thank you very much, production, for this replay, because it's beautiful to see them both fall opposites. But at that round, you know, coming from that pause, I really like the reaction from Riggs being like, okay, they're probably going to push somewhere. They were taking their space, given all the lobbies being like, okay, you do you, and then we'll decide what we're going to do. This is a very important round, and Ness has a plan.
Ness taking a while to destroy the utility. I like it though, right? A lot of the time you're gonna have the Killjoy peeking on the back of that utility, so instead she's waiting and just not finding anyone there coming up afterwards.
And Ritha again on wine. Position was tricky for her on previous rounds. Look at what Padge is.
That's so scary, man. I don't know how Padge gets all the way up there. Jupi onto Ritha to open the side up. The wine position doesn't get them anything. And, well, good old Ness, tagged up by the turret earlier, now has to take an ace to win this one out. And then a couple of players are low, but with an op, this is not quite going to matter.
It's a very tricky situation. I can also, you know, I can see Jonas smiling somewhere. I can see also Sam being very happy, because this looks like we're probably gonna go on to Breeze. I mean, we saw a similar phase from Oxxgen on the previous map, and then Riggs, you know, just started winning the rounds. The Riggs right now, it's just unstoppable, and this is only the attack.
7-0. What a change. From half number 1 of Icebox, these guys were looking deflated. They definitely were not looking solid. And now we turn it around and Ricks are in control, in the driver's seat. And it's like we said,
yeah,
we started to see them warm up towards the end of the second map, but also coming onto Ascent, it also felt like, you know, this should be a bit more of a comfort ground for them, somewhere a little bit safer after what we saw Oxygen do to them in the start of Icebox. And that's certainly playing out in front of our eyes.
I would love to see Oxxgen playing around their utility, as in, you know, ultimate-wise. Ness is probably using hers right now, and this is another round that probably, you know, by the means of it and by the economy, could go easily for Oxxgen.
Wow.
I've got your
That's one way to shut down the lurker outside of A. The Blade Storm used to pick them up a weapon as well. For Ricks, they're running into a site they have no information on. Able to find the first, but nothing to follow up on that. Still 3 versus 4. I mean, Oxxgen have got to be over the moon with the amount of legwork they've managed to do in the early round, and then Jupi falls as well.
This is 4v2? Well, sorry. Oh my god, is Ness going to do this? Oh?
It looks like she is. Absolutely destroying them. I have to say, Oxygen, of all the rounds to win, how is it this one? How is it the one where you have a bunch of pistols and a blade
I need a
storm?
breakdown. Do we have a telestrator here? Because I need a breakdown. I need Sean Garris to break this round down for me. I was saying that I wanted them to play around their utility, but it doesn't mean the Ness had to wipe up 3 players from the team, and also, you know, gaining all that aggression, just pushing, and also, you know, I like the Sage Wall, just denying everything that comes onto mid, just playing on a fair ground. The gravity well that we're gonna see here on the replay. I was actually feeling sad for Gia because I feel like she's, you know, strongholding onto B and she's having so much trouble defending it. She does find always the first kill, but maybe it's just not enough. I really like the fact that she's going on to A this time because I want to see some Ritha on me, you know.
Oh yeah, of course. We get to see it.
Oh no, she's moving. I wanted to see some Odin.
Never mind. We'll get there eventually. Look, we need a Coldamenta. We gotta pull him out.
Coldamenta.
Get him out with the
pretty
Odin.
nicely.
I try. It's the only thing I can say. Oh well. Oh, cerveza. And I'm good. Cerveza.
Oh, we had this conversation, Mitch.
We did.
Dude, and again, Gia's onto A, and she's gonna find some trouble. Cosmic Divide. Really like it.
It's a tough one to get anything done from though, because even when you drone out and manage to find a tag, like actually getting it done through this wall.
And the safe position for Raina, I love it. She can just walk in and out, preventing everything that comes from shorts.
Oh, that's a risky position to pop your ult from, Sonya. You're scaring me a little bit, and she's dead. Just like that. 3 versus 4. Numbers really swinging in favor of Oxxgen. Raina, the last player alive in a Cosmic Divide to allow the defuse. That is a clean retake out of Oxxgen. And a second round now on the board for the defensive side. I have to say, overall, it looks like we've got the Turks back on the server. I mean, you have to also acknowledge the fact that Jupi clutched out the first 2 buy rounds that were in play for Oxxgen. Jupi got a 3K to clutch those out. So we have had a lot of very tight rounds. This could very easily be a tied up or close to tied up scoreline. In fact, it could easily be in favor of Oxxgen significantly. It's just been those tiny things that have decided it all.
And I love the way that Gia played that round. She knew exactly, you know, not only when to use her utility, but she was not scared because, you know, the difference between playing on site on B and on A is that you can find a way out of A. You cannot find a way out of B. And if you're on your own, even going through CT is just so much more difficult than to do it in on A. It was a 4K for her, very well deserved. This is probably going to be, you know, maybe redemption for Oxxgen.
It could be. They're definitely upping the pace, looking a lot more confident. Ness shutting them down on the run through market. That is a scary thing to run into. All those players, the cloudburst to play through, and plenty of headshots connected. Sonya, last player alive, 1 versus 4, and she has got a bunch to do. They're grouped up in duos, just holding for her to move out, and they can either take her down or trade her out. 7-3. Oxxgen, they were 7-0 down, and now they're on course to have a decent half.
It's the Custer curse. I don't know if you say that in English, but we say it all the time in Spain. It's the Custer curse. When you start pointing out a fact, it changes immediately. I said the Gia thing about, you know, I don't like her being alone on B because of what I said. She goes on to A, she gets a 4K and the round for them. 7-0, doesn't matter. It's going to be 7-3, 2 rounds left, and we saw Rix just trying to do a change of tempo in that last round. Didn't work out well. Feel like their standard is pretty powerful, so I will keep relying on that one for the, you know, the 2 last rounds.
That is a nasty angle on top of the wall, looking for a victim, and in fact, coming damn close to finding it. Rix are just gonna walk up mid though. The smoke they've put down, they're confident to just take the control, and now look at the A site fondly. Obviously, we've got G on the backside, but it's more so Proxima that I was worried about. They've got the smoke to cross over. Jupi finds the rotate that was coming out. Even inside a trap wire, there's nothing that can be done. An easy shutdown on the site. Padge, you're not thinking about jumping up there. Padge, I know you're not thinking about jumping up there, but for some reason, it feels like you want to jump up there.
She's not gonna. She's listening to you. It's like, okay, Mitch, no worries. I won't. Could have been the curse though.
Shock darts down below. I mean, they've managed to pull Sonya, but not spotted her. There she is taken down. They now know where Padge is as well. Plenty of information starting to swing their way, and never mind the info, because they execute on it right away. 4 rounds for Oxxgen. These guys are not out of the game at all.
Yeah, at all. Let's see what they do on the last one, because this, I mean, the start for Rix was almost perfect. You know, you use that smoke, you take control of short guard, and it's all for you. You get the plan, but, you know, Oxxgen decided to play completely, almost completely, for that retake, and obviously Ness, I feel like, it was most of her doing, not only with the operator, but also reading the fact that I didn't gather the info, I didn't gather enough info in mid, just not only about the smokes, I'm also, you know, listening to what Gia saying, the camera spotting people walking onto short and, you know, just quickly rotating onto A. Let's see what happens this round, because I see Raina, Sonia, and Noia not that close, but very close to their ultimates.
Get out of my way!
This is the kind of time where you want to be popping them out, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
See them now or never.
You don't want to just leave them rolling over. Hey, we've seen players, especially with like a rolling thunder, go the whole half and not use it, and it blows my mind when I see that happen. But these guys are much more on point from what we've seen so far, at least. A minute 15 on the clock. There hasn't been much out of Rix. They're playing this one super slow again. They love to leave Sonya lurking on the other side of the map and make that early presence, but they're not committing to it.
Yeah, probably she's not gathering much, and this is gonna miss the first shot, but she's gonna gather all that information. We see no rotations coming from Oxxgen. I feel like the position is pretty good for them.
Oh, Ness is not having a good time with the operator. Swapping over to the Phantom. The Blade Storm about to come through up close. This is dangerous to spray. Good to start it. And the Cloud Burst to cover on the fallback. I like this from Ness. Chipping away, doing damage, but never overcommitting. And now on the backside, a lone Cypher stands. But in fact, it's a lone Raina. And oh, wow. Nice little double. Good attempt. But Proxima shuts it down. 7-5 at the half.
Yeah, crazy from Oxxgen, I have to say. And you were mentioning the fact that they were gathering that early, you know, having that early presence, gathering that early information onto A, but it's definitely not enough. And that is, it's not a mistake, but it is something that Oxxgen could read into. And given the fact that also, you know, when the execute started, Noia had to literally dry pick because she had already used her utility gathering the presence on B lobby. So maybe too fast. I would have, you know, waited a little bit just to you know, have more power going onto A. But I love the fact that Oxxgen were like, we're just gonna play double operator, just spend all the credits and also get the Phantoms to just, you know, for mid round. Pretty clean for them. Let's see if they actually get the pistol now, or is sorry, I'm kind of Russian right now, or is it going to go for Rix this time?
Rix at least managed to find the opening pistol. Let's see if they can follow up with more. After losing 5 in a row, it's got to be pretty deflating, especially knowing that now Oxxgen, right back in the map, are just, well, another good half away from knocking you out, right?
Oh my god, they look at that utility on the short. If they don't spot it, that is going to do a lot of damage. Oh, she didn't flip it.
It's already doing damage. Look, it still manages to get a tickle up on the way through. Ness in trouble here, but pulls out a double. The reload while running in the open. Ness fears absolutely nothing and is already in their spawn, but with Gia going down, this complicates things a little bit.
Spike was down. Oh, Jupi. What?
I mean, these fights
are a hectic round.
They are absolutely ludicrous. With 30 HP between the two of them, they're now walking into a B site that's completely open. Ness lurking hard in towards the spawn, but Rix don't take the risk of rotating through spawn. They're going all the way down short, into mid, into B main, and they're going to bypass Ness's lurk completely.
Blocking vision.
Only one star is going to be a smoke for Proxima to... Actually, she's going to look for a position, but she's only 20 HP. Let's double that Ness.
Those steps are heard. And you have to realize, you know, there's a strong likelihood that Oxxgen or that Rix are currently aware of how low these players are. That information can be fed over by those who have died. And with only Ness left alive on 10 HP, this defuse should be very difficult to deny. Quick headshots needed and not found.
I have to say that round, it kind of felt like we were on Haven. You know, when you take control of B, when you're attacking and you just go through connectors and being like, okay, we're in CT spawn, we don't really care. We just keep pushing around here. It's kind of hectic by that means, but also the damage and all the utility that we were seeing, especially for the first round. I think this is probably one of the things that Sam was mentioning, is that utility that gives you the means in the early rounds to just do all that damage and leave, you know, like, even if it's a 2v2, knowing that one of them is 20 HP and the other one is 10, it makes things so much easier for you, obviously.
Well,
Very well thought. Still, I like my Cypher on Ascent.
I'm kind of surprised that you have a second round pause coming out of Oxxgen. That is very rare. I mean, back in the day, if we can swap games, I think we're not even on CSGO. I think it was even before that. they used to use the pistol rounds, the eco rounds, as a tactical pause. You would just chat through them. And I think in a game like this, obviously there's a lot more to consider. Ult orbs in particular are something that are so valuable that it can be worth trying to fight for those on your eco rounds. But it feels odd not to call it coming into the buy round up next, right? So I'm now keeping an eye on Oxygen, seeing if they got something special in mind.
I think it's also given Rex the wrong kind of information. Maybe the thing that they're gonna force on the second round because they did manage to get the plant. And maybe like forcing some reaction out of Rex to counter that. You know, could be a little bit of everything, a little bit of mind games, but it's going to be sheriffs and ghosts.
Oh, you're disgusting. What is this?
I love you too.
Not you, kaquka. That wasn't an attack on you out of nowhere.
I mean, you usually do, but it's fine.
Hey, don't paint that picture of me. Yeah, the thing is for Oxygen, I saw at the start, right? They're waiting for the aggression out of Bricks. They were tucked in as a four-man ready to take the fight. But they don't get anything out of it. No one pushes, and so they start to take main control together. Okay. Oh, those shock darts are on point.
Noia's going to find the first one. Still playing really passive. This is exactly what Riggs needs to do. And look at everything that's ready on B. Waiting for Oxygen to come in.
It's the 1-star used up by Proxima. It does manage to kind of put Padge in an awkward spot as she runs through the smoke. But that's all it really finds. I mean,
I'm gonna go get my bikini because it looks like we're going to breathe. Now we're gonna get in shape. I mean, it's still pretty hot in Spain. Don't get me wrong. I think it's like 30 degrees outside, but it's what we get. This Riggs is looking extremely keen. Let's see if actually is a Riggs that has something prepared for this bonus round, because we see them gathering together onto A, but no, doesn't look like it's going to be. I would have loved to see that.
You've just made me sad. You said it's 30 degrees in Spain. It's 13 here.
It was 30 degrees the other day. Let me check actually how hot it is right now.
Revealing area.
It is
right
27
now.
degrees.
I'm in a fridge. I live in a giant fridge. But look, this is the bonus round out of Riggs, as we said. Not a lot to work with. Let's see what Oxygen are going to be able to do. Should be a clean round out of them. In fact, at this point, it almost needs to be. Riggs have done so much work. The 7 rounds in a row on their attack. And now picking up the early defensive rounds. Gia, a little bit of trouble there. Astra Utility going to keep them well back. And they were full gambled on that short play. They are stalled completely. Now they got to look for something else to do. Is there someone pushing behind them? That they don't know.
That is, I mean, it was mostly the fact that they wanted to be fast and just going with the typical Sage wall, covering everything that could come from the defender spawn. But you're right, they're just walking together and to find out what the mid-round call is going to be, that will still no usage anymore. I don't think they're gonna go into B.
Nice attempt at the spams through the smoke. A little bit of damage done at least. Rix holding back as rainssa.
30 seconds left.
Rainssa picks up one. Proxima in the corner. Gonna be shut down. This is starting to look a little bit scary for Oxygen. And they started it out well on the split, and now...
Yes.
Oof.
I love this. She was amazing.
Great flash. no one saw it. It's okay.
Happened. The off angle. That is something that you can only do with Jets.
Yeah, getting up on top of that box. Surprises them, that's for sure. Noia with the one. 2 more players on the side to deal with as they look to close in. Oxygen are boxed in and traded on easily. Ritha not able to get it done, and a Spectre in the hands of Jupi is enough to put double digits on the board for Rix. I mean, she has really been spectacular on this series.
It's not only the clutch situations, I think this round is not only the fact that Riggs played it well, it's that you know how on Icebox we were talking about the choreograph and everything just being so planned. That round, to me, did not look very planned. Because, you know, when you want to commit and you want to do a fast execute onto B, just taking that mid control, going through market, I get it. But then you stopped. You decided to go into short, but then you decide to not go again, and then you're there in the middle of the round being like, okay, what do I have control of? Because I know that I have a Cypher cable just covering what's coming on from B lobby, but I don't know what's going on in A. I don't know exactly what to do. I've given them all that space and all that time for Riggs to actually make a decision on how the round is going to go.
A deep flash out on A at the very start of this round confirms there's players there, and on the back of it, aggression, Jupi with another double kill. I mean, She's just unstoppable at this point.
And she has the lockdown now. This is has to be another round for Riggs. Has to be.
And a good call. Look, she pulls back immediately, doesn't overcommit to the fight, doesn't play for
She's
the
in position
clip.
already.
Like, she's literally waiting for the retake that they now don't need because they've shut down the entirety of this Oxygen side. One player lost in the end, and that was Jupi going out to try and trade teammates. It's 11-5, and Riggs are looking like a completely different beast. 18-8 right now.
That's crazy. And 5 assists. Let's always talk about the assists.
True, it's the agent she's doing it on as well. The fact that this is a killjoy, as opposed to, you know, Ness is pretty close, 17 kills on the other side, but Operator Jet, you know, it's almost cheating.
Pretty clean, and she only needs to play completely passive this round and use the lockdown and guarantee that this round, the full buy for Oxygen can go on Riggs' favor as well, and all that utility is going to be put onto mid, protecting her. And any pushes that want to be... Oh, I'm kind of scared about this positioning. So Oxygen not being very lucky with it.
Same thing again. This time, you've already got a player in wine, but they're not able to respond in time. Gia will be taken down, and look at the rotates. A mass exodus from the B side as Riggs rotate fully into position on A.
Now they've given Jupi the whole opportunity to use her lockdown and force them to take shorts.
There it is.
Actually already thinking about it. They're gonna get the plan, but they're gonna have to leave the site.
Oh, they're gonna have to run, surely. Ness, what are you doing, you lunatic? They're running in. There's a second left. They're not gonna get there in time. They're all detained, and they will just be cleaned up. Thanks to the last player alive, and somehow managing to evade detection. They know where she is, though. At this point, the recon confirms it. It's gonna have to be a crazy double kill to close this one out. The defuse not being stuck just yet, and Padge closes it. That was an ambitious play coming out of Oxygen. A last-second adaptation that got them absolutely nowhere.
Oh man, I was so because I don't know if Ritha had the ult already, but that is something that you have to expect. You know that Jupi is having a hell of a map, that she's playing so smart. You know that she has her ultimate, and if you use that Cosmic Divide, it's gonna come into place. The timing was so bad, and also we see the slow from Sage actually playing a little bit against you. Coming from rainssa, this is literally all or nothing for Oxygen, but I feel like we're seeing a completely different Riggs than it was on Icebox, and I love it.
I like that you painted like, oh, they're thinking about going short. They'll want to go short control. And then like, I'm willing to say they're 100% not doing it. And then with like 3 seconds left, they run.
We said in Icebox, you literally have 2 choices. You either go for it or you leave. But I think it was out of time, you know, to make that decision completely. If they had maybe 3 more seconds, and also the Sage slow did not help in that situation at all.
Oh yeah, they'd gone way past the turn for that to happen. Right.
The timing!
I think she turned to look at one of her stars, maybe to activate a smoke for her teammate, something like that, and instead got a bullet to the head. The timing there, ridiculous. As Riggs lose a player, and the numbers even up. But look at the HP. Padge and Noia so low. They look to defend this A site. There's going to be so much pressure on Noia to make it happen.
Revealing area.
She does a little bit of damage. They're gonna walk away. Oh, take care, because if you go into mid, Jupi's waiting for you with all that utility, and she's having the day.
She's not on market. Going all the way around to spawn. Okay, they deal with Jupi anyways, but Sonya comes in with a massive double. Thanks to the last alive. Good for the first, but now the operator of Padge is to be dealt with.
She has to go for the res. It's either the rest or the res. Just use the wall.
Oh, she has no idea, though.
Risks.
No idea where this player is. Stepping into the operator. That will close it out.